How do you maximize performance with your sales force? My name is Anthony Garcia, and I'm the host of the Catapulting Commissions podcast. Join me every week as we discuss topics such as performance or improving retention, and we do so by interviewing some of the top sales professionals and entrepreneurs around the world. Now, let's enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Catapulting Commissions show. Thank you guys for joining me. So, let's talk about the buzz of the market, the hot topic, what's happening. We're all hearing about it. There's changes being made. People are being told to go home. Kids are not going to school. Field trips are being canceled. The NBA is being canceled. The coronavirus or COVID-19, it is here. It is real, and it is impacting our daily lives. So on today's show, right, and I'm adding this show, and we will jump back to our regularly scheduled show of phenomenal guests and diving in on the Catapulting Commission show next week. But as of today, I want to take a moment and, one, educate you, my listeners, on this impact. Two, I want to talk about how to protect your business. Three, I want to talk about how to protect your team. So if you're an individual contributor, we're going to talk about how to protect your business. If you manage a team or you manage an organization, the time to respond and react is now. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So first, the impact for coronavirus. I will tell you this real quick. If you haven't heard it, either you got a runny nose, sore throat, cough, fever, difficulty breathing, mostly in severe cases, those are typically the symptoms people are looking for in the coronavirus. Now, I am not a physician, an ER doctor. I am not a medical professional, so this show should not be taken as medical advice. However, majority of the people who are impacted by coronavirus are okay, right? It's rarely fatal. However, it can be fatal. So now that you know what's happening and what it is, and I will not pretend to be an expert on today's show and share that with you. What I will tell you is the response to coronavirus can be more detrimental than the disease itself or than the virus itself. Let me correct myself. There are people who are in our financial position that can't afford not to work. There are people in a financial position that can't afford to feed their kids if they're not going to school and getting the meals at school, right? I'm in California, and some of the public schools, we have not canceled public schools as of yet, right? I mean, some have extended a spring break, but truly sending kids home. And as of recording this show, it hasn't happened yet. However, it could happen by the time the show airs, so I don't know. But when people say, hey, calm down, this is just, the flu is worse. Hey, calm down. This is not that big of a deal. I would challenge people to think of it a little differently. Our bodies have not developed the immune system for this, right? This is something new, and the impact is real. And when I hear people say, oh, it's not that big of a deal, and their background is whatever it is, I'm not going to pick on a background, but when you start to challenge the medical professionals from the CDC, the World Health Organization, and you're saying, hey, I know more than you because I read an article on Wikipedia, or I listened to some blog, or I listened to some podcast, or I read some blog, really ask yourself, are you educated enough? Do you have that background to make that decision to say what's important and what's not important? I look at it like this. If all these people who their whole life study is to protect us, society, and their whole educational background is medicine, and they've studied all these vast majority of diseases, and if they're all singing the same tune, and you, the outlier, the external blogger or the external person who wants to be on the opposite side says, it's not that big of a deal, I'm going to go with the people that have dedicated their life to do that, which is why NCAA, NBA, Major League Baseball, the response is happening. So Moral of the story, it is serious. Protect yourself, protect your family. You know, I've have people that I work with that are close to me. They're like, dude, I'll be fine. If it happens to me, I'm okay with it. It's not about you. It's about the people around you. And I truly believe that if something was to happen and I was infected with coronavirus, I would be okay. Would my little girls at home be okay? Would my parents who are over 50 be okay? Will my family members who are over 70 be okay? Right? The people around me, are they going to be okay? And you know what? As a young, healthy person, I feel okay, but I also feel there's some responsibility in protecting those around me. So, if you are a individual contributor, here's how we're going to protect your business, right? Your business right now is experiencing some impact at some level, right? Whether it's a macro level, whether it's a micro level, you're experiencing some impact. And if you haven't experienced it yet, it's going to happen. I suggest, I forecast, I truly believe that it is going to get worse before it gets better. So, number one way to protect your business, think outside the box. If you have a business that requires you to be in contact with your customers, with your prospects, it is time to think outside the box. How can I be engaged with my potential customers while protecting myself? Right? There's social media, there is technology, there is a phone call, there's text messages, there's WebEx, there's mailers, there's flyers. There is so many ways to stay relevant and be in touch and engage with your prospects. Some of you may work for an organization that has said, hey, you can't go and visit your prospects, period. We are not going to take that liability. Our organization, XYZ company, is not allowing you to go visit people. Well, how do you protect yourself? How do you protect your business? And how do you think outside the box? So I'm going to challenge you. You have to think outside your normal standards and find ways to deliver a certain level of value to people that otherwise are in contact, hand holding, handshaking in that line of communication. Number two way to protect yourself and protect your business right now, right? Don't allow fear to hold you back, right? Even though this is, this virus is real and there's some challenges with it, we can't be afraid to live our lives. We can't be afraid to move to the next step of our sales process. We can't be afraid to put ourselves out there. So acknowledge it, but don't allow it to paralyze you. And on the previous episode of Catapulting Commissions, I talk a lot about fear and how it holds people back. So I won't repeat that show, but I definitely recommend you listen to that show. And the third way to protect yourself during this process is protect yourself at all costs. Really simply put, protect yourself at all costs. Wash your hands every day. I made a joke with my team and a joke at home. I've been washing my hands on a consistent basis before it was cool. Truly, after working in the medical field for a while and working in surgery, it was, hey, I'm going to wash my hands, I'm going to protect my hands. Well, now that has to happen every day, right? There should be a process to, at home, disinfect everything, protect yourself. Are you overreacting? Maybe, maybe not. But you're preparing and you're protecting the ones around you that you love. And how to protect yourself at all costs, right? I was just with an associate a few days ago, and I mean, she got to the point where she disinfected her wallet, disinfected her credit cards, disinfected her phone, disinfected her iPad, anything that your hands are touching, right? Disinfect. Just take the extra step. You don't know the impact. No one here is Superman. No one is immortal. So take that time and protect yourself. Okay. If you manage a team, let's switch gears a little bit. Okay. If you're a leader and you lead an organization, the organization could be you're a husband, you're a wife, you're the leader of your home. It could be you're a CEO of one of the largest companies in the world. It could be you're a manager of your office, right? You have a financial real estate office, a financial insurance office, you have a real estate office. You have something that people look to you for a position of leadership. The time to be a leader is now. It was actually before this show airs. If you haven't acted on it, act on it immediately. You need to be the leader in your environment. And how do you lead people? You put people over profits. It's not popular to say. Let me rephrase that. It's popular to say, it's challenging to execute because you have to protect your people at all costs. So if you manage a team, tell your people, hey, I want you to protect yourself at all costs. There's no amount of money, reward, customer retention, employee retention that is worth you sacrificing your health. So, people over profits. It is essential that as a leader, we take the stance and say, I care about you as a person more than you as an employee. Have that conversation. Share with your people, I care about your health. And I want you to know if you tell me, hey, I'm not comfortable with coming to work today, I'm not comfortable with going to visit my potential customer or going on my next sales call or going visiting a former client, I'm okay with that. You have to be okay with your people saying, I want to protect my health. And as a leader, you should encourage it. You should tell your people, I care about you, not about this company, not about this revenue, not about this money, not about this business. I care about you as a person. And if you have a dynamic team, when people hear that, they're going to want to continue working for you because they genuinely feel you care about them. Now, only say it if you mean it. Because if you say it and you're not genuine, people are going to read the BS. They're not going to deal with it. They're not going to accept it. So I would definitely encourage you to think about how you deliver that message. Number two, to protect your team during a time of uncertainty, you have to calm your team's nerves. You have to initiate the conversation to help educate those that are in your organization so they understand what is the impact of this virus, right? And this should be a constant line of communication. I know how I responded and reacted to the coronavirus earlier this week, and how I'm responding to it today are night and difference, right? Full transparency. Today is Saturday, March 14th. How I responded on Monday, March 9th to the coronavirus, and today are night and day. Reason being is it's a fluid situation. It is changing every day. Every day there's something new happening. There's something new being brought to light, right? I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I question how is Italy in a way worse situation than China ever was, right? There's a lot of challenges that come with this. So, as a leader, you have to calm your team's nerves. You calm your team's nerves by acknowledging this is a real threat, empathizing that there is an impact to your people, and third, effectively communicating you care about them as a person, not them as an employee. Let people know it's okay to say, hey, dude, I'm afraid. Hey, I don't want to expose this to my kids. And the last thing to do to protect your organization, and this should always be a must, but this should always happen. But right now, your organization, your team needs to hear it more. Just do the right thing. 100%. Do the right thing. If somebody doesn't want to go to work, don't force them. Don't hold them accountable. If it means you have to close your shop, close your business to protect your people, then do the right thing. Okay. Financially, I would be very foolish to make a recommendation on how financially you should compensate or reward your employees or your organization, right? Because what works for one organization may not work for the other organization. You may run a small mom and pop or small business, and you rely heavily on the revenue that comes in from customers coming into your establishment, and they may not be coming in, right? So I'm not going to make that statement on how to financially do the right thing, but I definitely think it's worthy of you looking at opportunities on how to do the right thing, how to protect your people. There should be no excuse on drawing outside the lines right now when it comes to doing the right thing. As a leader, you get paid to make difficult decisions, and you get paid to be a leader in times of uncertainty. It is a time of uncertainty. It is time to lead. It is time to get in front of this thing. It is time to calm people's nerves. It is time to tell people it is okay to be afraid. It is time to be the leader that you're supposed to be. Okay. How do you respond as a leader? How do you lead in a time of uncertainty? One, be available. Do not disappear on the people in your organization. Do not ignore the text messages, the emails, the phone calls. And I know it's challenging because as a leader, you're like, hey, I'm gonna have this Zen-like mode and I'm gonna keep my team calm. But there may be somebody in your organization who's nervous, who's scared, who, hey, I'm not scared of the coronavirus. I'm scared of the financial impact this is gonna cause. I can't afford for this coronavirus to not pay me or for me not to be able to sell my product or my service, right? Answer the bell, answer the phone call, answer the text, share with people, communicate, find a contingency plan, right? There is a time where we're going to bounce back from this. It's not a question of if, but a question of when. And when we do bounce back from this, you want people to look back at you and say, hey, my manager, my mentor was there for me this whole step of the way. Because I truly believe the impact from the coronavirus, the medical impact from the coronavirus is bad. The financial impact is going to be worse. So stand in the hot box, leaders. Share with your team. You can reach out to me. You can talk to me. We can get through this together. Now, if you're just joining in or you're listening to this show midway through, I just want to revisit a couple of things, right? We are not interviewing a guest today on the Catapulting Commission show. This is me solo by myself, just giving you some feedback on the uncertainty that's taking place. I think it's extremely important that you find ways to protect your business, protect your organization. And as a sales leader, the time to lead is now. The time to make difficult decisions is now. And the time to pop people over profits. Think about your people first is now. I promise you, when this is over, if you're the sales leader that's only driving revenue and profit right now, and you're playing a blind eye to the real threat to people's health right now, you're going to find people don't want to work with you anymore. And you're going to be in a real bad shape once this all shakes out. So thanks for joining me today, guys. We are going to jump back into our interview series next week. I got a roster of phenomenal guests coming up, and I'll continue to bring high value guests, or I'll continue to deliver high value topics that we'll dive into. I just felt that this special episode had to make its way. I think it's extremely important that we understand the threat of this coronavirus and this COVID-19, and we respond and react accordingly. So if you have any questions, impacts, or anything like that, shoot me a message, shoot me a DM. As always, all these episodes are available on catapultingcommissions.com or anthonypgarcia.com. I also have a YouTube channel that if you're a YouTuber and you want to listen to this on your computer, you can definitely find under Anthony Garcia. Click subscribe and you'll get all this information. All right, guys, thanks for your time today. I'll talk with you soon. Well, that does it for today's episode on Catapulting Commissions with Anthony Garcia. If you found some value in today's show, please be sure to head over to iTunes and leave a 5-star rating. Don't forget to subscribe to Catapulting Commissions. That way you get notified of new episodes every week. Lastly, please take a screenshot of today's show and share it on Instagram. Every week, I'll be giving away a signed copy of my best-selling book to one person who tags me at Anthony P. Garcia 99 and includes the hashtag Catapulting Commissions. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to helping you achieve higher commissions.